Hello, I'm Carl Stabe, and today I have Douglas Campbell with me. He's an AI systems expert. Thank you. This is the 5 minute system segment. Do you have a system that you've implemented that has helped you in your business and you can share with my audience?
Yeah, sure, Carl. It's great to be on. Thank you. I'm very inspired on this topic. Anything that saves us time, gets us back to being more human, I am a fan of. And so technology and AI in particular is in this great place to do that right now. So, we do a lot of content marketing, we do a lot of stuff for project management and sales teams. And so I think one that would be really interesting for me to share with you and your audience would be our sales meeting processor, and it really can be used for any type of meeting structure. But before I get into the solution, I'll talk about the problem. And this is something that we worked on with different clients, and so we've really seen the results of the ROI. So let's just talk about structured meetings. Sales calls, for example, are a perfect example because they often have the same structured questions, right? So you're on a call, it's say a discovery call, it's 20 minutes long, and you ask the same 15 questions every time, right? Then what you typically would have to do is go and take that. Well, I mean, back in the day, you'd take furious notes. So you'd be half present, half taking notes. You try to capture it. We all remember those days. Well, then it was great. And I started recording meetings long before even transcripts. And then that helped because I could actually be present and then review my recordings. That took hours, often depending on the length of the meeting. uh, at least a good chunk of time. Then transcripts came around, and that greatly facilitated us not needing to take the notes because we knew AI was capturing things. Well, that's great. Then we got to take the transcript and go back and forth through an AI, and that was really helpful, and that cut it down by maybe a quarter or something like that. Well, for these very structured meetings, it's a really good application to use an automation system, right? Because it's the same exact thing. And so what we decided to do was take our own, we like to drink our own champagne. So we decided to take our own sales meeting process where we ask these questions and really break down the process and figure out, okay, where can we automate this? So, because the last thing you want to do, and anyone who's in sales understands this, is you're already doing a free exploration call. The last thing you want to do is do a whole bunch of free work afterwards. You want to get on to either your next sales calls or actually doing the work for your current clients, right? So we created a form basically on our website for us. And all we need to do, it's a little private form, is we say the client's name, the project name. If they have a Google Drive link, we can copy and paste it in there. And then all we do is attach the transcript and press process the meeting. Okay. Now, first of all, and then it goes into our automation system. And so what it does, first of all, is it looks into your clients or leads folder and sees if there's already that client based off of if you added the Google Drive link. And if not, it will create a whole folder structure for them. Drop the transcript in there so you have it for posterity's sake. And then go through a process where it uploads the transcript to an AI vector storage that then you can talk to and you can chat with. And so then it connects with Notion, where I have those 15 questions as a prompt chain. Now, so back in the day, we talked about you just made notes, but then when AI first came out, you could then put the transcript in ChatGPT and ask it questions and copy and paste stuff over. Well, what it does is it loops through those questions and it appends a nicely formatted Google document with our logo and a little intro that's personalized to the client, depending on the name and project and business name that you put in there. And then it loops through those questions. It asks the transcript those questions, and then it outputs this perfect Google document. So that was already pretty cool. Well, the next step of the simplification was, well, I want to make slide decks to present for these clients. It's kind of like a sales deck, but then the first few slides are personalized to the client. So you in Google Slides, you can create dynamic fields that are just waiting for text to be inputted or imagery to be inputted into them. So what the next step of the process is it takes the information that was generated from AI and it further processes it to fit into the slide deck. It creates a slide deck, it fills out all the fields, it adds imagery, can add a logo of the prospective customer if you like, if they have a website or a company. And then it has the rest of my sales deck afterwards. So a personalized deck. Last piece of the equation, it drops a draft email in my email platform that says, Hey, Carl, it's great talking to you today about such and such project. Here's some things I made for you based on our meeting. Link to the document. Here's the full meeting summary and link to the slide deck. Here is here's like what we made created for you. Here's a video of your call for so that you can have this for the future. And here are some things that we'd recommend. And in the template, I just list all of our products and services, and that draft email gets created. I get sent a text message. Hey, you got a new follow-up that's been processed. Go check out your drafts folder, link to the draft folder, open it up. You do a quick human check of the two links of the email. You delete the products that aren't relevant for that client from the draft, and you send it. And we get those out now in 15 minutes. So what used to take hours then took maybe an hour, and now takes 15 minutes. So you can imagine that's already at least 10x, our workflow internally.
That's
Now,
awesome.
yeah, and that's relatively basic. So, I mean, basic is it's all relative, but we're now working with a client who has a more involved slide deck with up to 20 different images that need to be very thematic based on the conversation and that specific client that they're talking to. They spend $24,000 of labor time on post sales call follow-ups every month. They're a big company, a public company. So we told them we can get that down to $16,000. No problem. I know that. So I could say that to the client. I'm pretty sure we can get it their monthly spend from $24,000 for probably $10,000 or under. I'm not going to say that. That's going to be the bonus. Like if I've achieved that $16,000, they're already like, wow, you cut off a third of the cost, right? So at that point, these systems, it doesn't really matter how much they cost. It's just a business expense because by month 2 or month 3 or whenever it is, they really start paying for themselves. And so that's an example. We do lots of cool creative content automation stuff and things for social. But in terms of just a really practical business application, I think the meeting processor is, I mean, that's one of our hot, products because people hate that kind of stuff.
I love that. I think for a 5 minute segment, that is perfect because what you're trying to do is you're trying to allow people to have the AI create these. Like you said, it's a draft email, which then you don't have to write it, but you can review it. And I think this is an important thing for the audience to know and understand is AI is there to support you, but not do it all. And I think, probably in 10 years, it will be more trustworthy and able to do that. But I still think there needs to be checks and balances, and you can have these drafts done. You can have this draft deck done, and you can do a lot of these things. I do a lot of writing with AI for LinkedIn, my blog, my website, and it helps streamline stuff. I am not as automated as you are about it. I'm very manual. I don't have it automate a lot of this, but it still saves me hours a week, and I love that. And I think if people want to systematize their stuff using AI, I think it's a great place to start. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. My pleasure.